I gave it another try and I thought I've seen it all, but this is when things went down. Hey, and welcome back to my channel. A few months ago I recorded a video about my experience with birth control, side effects, and eventually going off the birth control. There's a second story to this. I used to be off my birth control for 6 years until my OBGYN kind of forced me onto another hormonal therapy trial. Early 2020 I had the suspicion of having endometriosis, which led me to a doctor marathon in order to seek proper treatment. I could go on and on about different horror stories with several doctors, but I want to focus on the hormonal trial I had to go through. End of summer 2020, I thought I finally found an OBGYN that understood me and took me serious. After she listened to me, my story, my symptoms, she brought up the suspicion of me having endometriosis. However, the only treatment she suggested was an elimination therapy. The first step of the elimination therapy consists of taking an ordinary hormonal contraceptive in order to see if it helps with the symptoms. Further down the road, the elimination therapy would include a Depo-Provera, which is a 3-month birth control shot. Other steps would have been hormonal IUDs like the Mirena, or later on even initiating temporary menopause. Only after going through all of these steps, my OBGYN agreed to proceed with a surgical procedure. I did not want any of those treatments as I had bad experience with contraceptives in the past, and I knew that this sort of therapy would have a broad range of side effects in store for me as well. One of the worst ones actually being bone loss through the medication of the temporary menopause. After going through so many doctors that didn't take me serious, I thought this was my only shot and I acknowledged myself beaten. I turned down the elimination therapy my OBGYN suggested and asked if there was any sorts of hormonal pill without estrogen she could prescribe me. She was happy to see that I gave in and suggested a progesterone pill. I agreed under one condition. If the progesterone pill failed after a 3-month trial, I would not have to take any other steps of the elimination treatment in order to receive my surgery. After 6 years of being off the birth control, the toughest thing was the accountability of a daily intake. I actually had to set myself an alarm or reminder on my phone so I would not forget taking my hormones. The first 2 months I didn't see any improvement, neither did I sense any sort of worsening. The 3rd month of my trial, however, I noticed a change for the worse within my daily state of mind, my menstruation, and chronic pain. I went to see my doctor for a consultation and review of my 3-month trial. Her suggestion was to double my intake. I gave it another try and I thought I've seen it all, but this is when things went down. After my appointment, I started taking my progesterone pill in the morning as well as the evening to have a periodically intake. My mental state was all over the place. I was depressed, highly sensitive, dull, I had no libido, I had no appetite, actually lost a couple of pounds, my chronic pain was unbearable, and so was my menstruation. I had my period every single week, and therefore also the pain that is accompanied by my menstrual cycle. It was a roller coaster ride, although the only positive thing I noticed was improvement of my skin texture as well as my hair. I consulted my OBGYN after just a couple of weeks of increasing my medicine. Although we had the agreement that if the progesterone would not work, we would proceed with the surgery, she tried to push the other steps of her elimination therapy on me. There were too many red flags at this time, and I kind of ghosted my OBGYN and looked for another doctor who would actually understand me and take me serious. And I'm so happy I found somebody who does. I asked my new doctor if I could stop taking the progesterone intake, and he agreed right away. Since winter 2020, I'm off of any hormones again. It was a rocky road to get back to a stable mental health as well as dealing with all the consequences from removing my hormones. My skin was constantly breaking out to the point that I couldn't even touch it. My hair was greasy all the time. All that certainly did not help with my state of mind, but I got through it. I received the treatment I wanted to, and I'm now feeling better than ever. I thought I did my homework, I researched, and of course I was trusting the expertise of my doctors. But I came to understand that not everybody is acting for the sake of your health, and the moral of the story is if it does not feel right for you, don't feel urged to do something just because you were asked to do it. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and I'll see you around next time.